Alright guys, so look what we have in our capsule page here. So we finally got back the 36 hours only banner. So I believe 1 day ago they actually accidentally on the push notification had this in the actual notification saying, oh, the 36 hours long banner is live right now, but when we actually check in game, it's not there. So I guess they were intended to have it out tonight actually, but for whatever reason they mess up and drop it like 2 days ago. So we kind of had like the expectation we might potentially, quote unquote, potentially get it, but looks like we are getting it right now. So in terms of look at this banner, like you guys are probably asking, like, should I throw all my hardships under this banner? I would definitely say there's definitely not a right or wrong answer on this banner, just because the sheer amount of value from this banner is just too good. But kind of keep that in mind, you can get shafted, so don't complain where you guys get some of the oldest part from the pool, because if you guys do take a look at the roster, you are literally getting something from since day one of the game. So you can get lucky and probably get a lot of good 7-star part, but at the end of the day, it is going to be RNG based. It is purely going to be based on the percentage of what you can get. So I would definitely say, in my opinion, you can most likely get something that is very old, and that's probably going to be heart shattering, because you just wasted like 1500 hardships and you didn't get anything good. So that's definitely going to be on you guys' call. I'm not going to make that decision for you guys. So if you guys do need something, definitely go for it. Something to keep that in mind, per every multi-summon you are going to be able to get a pickup ticket. So in that respect, you can kind of get whatever part you want, and then on top of that, you are also going to be able to get one of these, this is going to be the material to upgrade to a 7-star part, so you can also get that as well. So you need a total of 3 to upgrade to a 7-star, so you would need to do 3 multi-summoning if you are planning to use that in that way. But other than that, this banner overall is just very good. So in my opinion, definitely no complaints at all. Like, I think a lot of people actually would be waiting for the banner to summon on anyway. So that's that. In terms of the overall unit roster, so now we are up to Barbados Lupus Rex. So this is probably one of the newer one over here, so we can kind of check the alteration tab and see how far up we are. So it is pretty much, oh wow, okay. So in my opinion, I would not summon on this banner, just because of the fact that everything that came after the Lupus Rex is just powerhouse. If it is just really good, EXS is extremely good for defensive type. New Gundam, you guys already know how busted that is, Penelope, and then Fenice, Liberta. So those are going to be something that eventually they will make it onto the 36 hours on banner as well. So if anyone was expecting New Gundam, probably no, it's just way too early, and it's just not going to make sense. It just like it just came out like what, not even like a week ago, so obviously they won't put on there. But yeah, if you guys still want to summon it, I think that is definitely fine. But in terms of this video, we are going to be not talking about part trade, we are talking about EXQ, because the last time I covered this in terms of EXQ base was back in April. So I do want to give you guys just a quick update in terms of what kind of newer EXQ that we have. Not really that much, because of the fact that they have been dropping recycled banner probably pretty consistently, so there's not really like a lot of new EXQ to kind of cover. Alright, so we are gonna click on the exchange page and see what we have. So it's gonna be under the capsule freebie, and then after that you want to click on the exclusive part exchange ticket and see what we have. So Lupus Rex is gonna be up top. So the last time I reviewed this one was actually when we had the Gundam Zabaya, so that was the kind of like the newest one, like back in April. So now we are all the way up to here. So in terms of what I have recommend, it's not really that much. I think those are just all pretty much good, pretty nice cinematic EXQ that I feel like you guys can potentially want, for example, because not every time it's about the portrait, not every time it's about the strongest part. Sometimes it's all about just a cool animation, cool EXQ, and etc. So that is what we are doing today. So let me actually start off with the melee aspect, and then we will jump straight into the shot. There's not going to be too much for shot based folks over here, but I do want to give just a smidge of a recommendation if you guys do want to pick those up as well. Alright, so starting out with the Barbados Lupus Rex. So why am I recommending this one? You guys do know that we do have the S attribute already, so pretty much the same EXQ, but why am I recommending it once again? In terms of this tailblade, you guys can see that we are getting 2 more additional effects that we originally did not get. So I feel like this is definitely a very good option to be looked at. You are going to be getting a squad resistant to flinching for a set period of time, so that's obviously can come in handy. And then as well, the ability to erase any debuff on all Gunpla. So pretty much all your Gunpla, that is pretty much going to be immune. You immune for flinching and then erase any debuff that was applied to you. So honestly, that is just a very well-rounded effects. Unfortunately, you're not really getting any health recovery, which I would, really want. But nonetheless, you are getting a pretty sizable chunks of effects already. And I believe after alteration, the attack up actually does go up to a 59% if I recall, so definitely really strong. And then obviously with the power modifier, it should go up to SS minus power, I think, if I remember correctly. I'm not looking at it at the alteration state, unfortunately. So in terms of, let's say, talking about alteration, unfortunately, you are not going to be able to alterate it if you did not pull it on the original banner, because in terms of our alteration exchange roster so far, it is only up to the S attribute for Auburn Unicorn, so it's just not there yet. But nonetheless, this is just a very versatile EX skill not to miss out on. Up next, we do have the Gundam Astrea Type F2. So this is going to be another pretty cool cinematic EX skill. Keep that in mind, this is going to be an awakenable. So in terms of chaining to some EX skill, do make sure that EX skill is non-awakenable to not cancel out any buff. So in terms of the EX skill, we have the Transcend Rampage. So this one, honestly, it's not really for the actual effects. This one is pretty much for a very cool cinematic EX skill. Just I feel like you guys may enjoy. In terms of the overall animation, just top notch. You do have a lot of attacks going on. I did also do like a comparison, not really like a comparison. So back then when this one released, I did do a testing whether or not this EX skill is a mixed damage, and actually not. So all those missiles, all those bazooka attacks, for example, so those are all strictly melee attacks, because when I tried out back then, I was trying to see like, are we able to get any shot attack out of that? But actually no. So this one is a safe to say a pure melee EX skill, so definitely really good. In terms of the overall effects, I think the most noticeable part is the fact that this one actually buffs both melee and shot attack to your squad by 29% unalterated, and then after alteration, I believe it gives either or a higher, like maybe like 10% more. So definitely a very good dual type setting going on, so definitely really good. And then besides that, you are going to be able to get a all range weapon reload speed boosted by 53%. Honestly, this is not like anything of a powerful effects, but they just have it there. But I feel like just having that dual attack boosting is just very good, so that's why I put this one on the list. Alright, up next we have the Unicorn Gundam 03 Phoenix or / Type RC. So this one is going to be the Unicorn from the Recon and G, so definitely I don't know why they have it. I believe this one is actually from like a special series. I don't exactly remember what it's from, but we have another unicorn up here. So in terms of this EX skill, I'll definitely say based off from just the unicorn model. So this is probably one of the strongest EX skill possible from a unicorn. So definitely if you guys are like a big fan of unicorn, this may be something that you want to potentially get. So in terms of EX skill, we have the Armor DE. So this one, just very powerful effects. You are going to be getting some attack rates, some shot defense rates, for example. I don't know why they have that. But most importantly, we are getting an all melee skill cooldown instantly down by 38%. So this is a very, niche condition that we don't get too much. So I feel like this is definitely something that you guys may want to potentially take advantage of. And in terms of the power modifier, we are getting an S power and alterated already. So this makes it a very, very strong candidate already. So I'm not really much to talk about this one. And obviously it is going to be awakenable, because this any unicorn EX skill, they are always awakenable, because you have to activate the new type system, the new type destroyer. So why not? So this is definitely going to be on the bucket list if you guys want a strong arm EX skill right here. And up next, we do have the Galleon. So this one is going to be from Recon in G once again. So this overall effects is pretty similar to what we have seen from the Unicorn Type RC. So pretty much doing the exact same thing. The only differences that you can see is obviously the power modifier. This one is only to a A+. And then in terms of the build effects, this one is actually boosting melee defense, but not shot defense. So that is only the difference in terms of the third effect, still giving out that melee skill cooldown instantly by 38%. So I mean, like, both of them are definitely pretty cool EX skill. I think this one is a pretty interesting because it has like all those kind of like arms in the back, like fingers, however you want to call it. Like they actually do some pretty good attacks as well. So very good animation overall. So that is why I recommend this one as well. Alright, so last but not least, in terms of for the melee over here, I am going to be recommending the Toligi F-Seer. So this one is not for like any particular reason. I feel like this one was just something that I did not recommend originally back in April, because this one was available back in April already. So why am I going to be recommending this one now? In terms of this one actually does give you the opposite. So this one doesn't have the highest power modifier, for example, but this one in contrast does give you a very high piercing. So this one is going to be very good for content that requires a good amount of, like, let's say for those specific challenges, for example, this one is going to perform really well because it is going to be able to penetrate to some pretty good whatever condition they have. Like, you know, your enemy can be very tanky, they may have some pretty high defensive life, but this one will get the job done. This one also does raise some melee attack up to 29%, as well as a 48% health recovery. So honestly, this is very good combo. This one is also going to be awakenable as well. So I think all these EXQs so far that we have gone over, they are all awakenable. So that is a very unfortunate thing. So, but yeah, that is going to be pretty much it in terms of the melee aspect. So now we can hop over to some shot-based EXQ. Okay, so in terms of the shot-based EXQ, there is just not a lot of good option for whatever reason. So we are gonna start things out with the Strike Freedom Gundam. So we got the high mat full burst here. So in terms of this overall animation, you guys may see that as a replica to the actual big scale Freedom. In a sense, I would definitely agree with you. But in terms of the final attack, what made me feel like this is a very good animation, like in my opinion, is the fact that they actually have all those Dragoon deployed. So that definitely checks my mark in terms of like giving me like a good, you know, Strike Freedom-esque EXQ. So I'll definitely take that. If that is your taste as well, definitely do use this one as well. This one does give you a bare minimum of like what I expect as a good EXQ. Just to give you some health recovery up by 48%, as well as shot attack up to overall squad by 49%. So that's honestly very powerful. Keep that in mind. This one is not even altered yet. So after alteration, that can definitely get higher as well. In terms of the power right now, we are only sitting at an A+. But honestly, just, you know, in terms of the overall final blow, the final hit, that is definitely sealed the deal in my opinion. So that is why I would like to recommend this one to you guys as well. Up next, we do have the Banshee arm here. So in terms of the Banshee arm, this one is obviously not any of a flashy EXQ. This one is going to be the Armored BS. So this one, why am I recommending this one? In terms of the effects, it's not anything too much, only raising your this is only yours. Whoa. So this one you can't even benefit it as a squad. But I feel like I want to recommend this one is simply for the animation alone. So this one is literally from the entrance animation of like when Banshee first launched from space onto Earth, like trying to capture Banagers and his unicorn. So that's why I feel like that's a very iconic moment that I feel like you guys may enjoy as well. But in terms of the overall EXQ damage output, this one is actually a mixed damage for whatever reason. So I believe the last time I checked back then, this one does have a little bit of melee built in as well. So it just takes a little bit of your melee attack. So that is definitely an unfortunate factor that I don't know why they have that. But overall, in terms of, let's say, talking about the cinematic, like the actual animation, definitely top notch in my opinion. So that's why I am recommending this part as well. Alright, so the next one that I do want to recommend is going to be the Cassette Arm EXQ here. So this one is pretty much going to be the same thing as the original one. So we do have a funnel missile combo here. So the only reason why I am recommending this one is the fact that this one does have the ability to reduce all shot EXQ instantly down by 28%. So that's why this will make it into the bucket list. But overall, in terms of the actual power, I don't even think that is pretty much all we're getting. I believe it does not make it all the way to S power, unfortunately. So but overall, just having that instantly down by 28% for all your shot based EX skills, I think that's definitely pretty cool as well. Alright, and the last shot based EXQ that I do want to recommend is gonna be the old torso EXQ. So this one is simply just gonna be pressure, so there's not any effects here. So the reason that I am recommending this EXQ is the fact that this one does have some pretty decent AoE attacking capability, so that's why I do want to recommend this one. It's not gonna be anything too flashy, so it basically just brings you into like it's kind of like a good cinematic EXQ kind of animation, and then it just pops out like those waves that you can actually see. In terms of the coverage range, I want to say it's the best, but I will definitely get anyone that is nearby you, just instantly mow them down. This one, keep that in mind, it is going to be an awakenable EXQ as well, so in terms of chaining, let's say any effects, that shouldn't be a problem because you're not getting additional effects already, so that should be fine. But other than that, that is going to be pretty much it in terms of all the EXQ that I want to recommend for this iteration. We just don't have a whole lot of new EXQ, so there's just not a lot that I could recommend. But that will do for this time around, and then until next time, hopefully we can get more newer EXQ, and then I can recommend those to you guys as well. But with that being said, that is going to be pretty much it with this video, and then I'll catch you guys all on the next one.